Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So I'm going to take a moment and just sit back and talk a little bit about Night of the Living Dead by CMON, the Zombicide game. In particular, I want this video to be about the Romero Zone. Did it live up to the hype? Was it as good as expected? Is it what you're looking for, or is it something a little bit different? So when I first heard there were going to be two different ways to play, Zombicide or Romero, I thought, in my head, I made this up, that there would be Romero, where you'd be kind of a slave to the source material, and you'd go through, and you'd be weaker players, but these missions would be right in. And then I thought there'd be a mode where maybe a different mission or set of missions where, you know, just kick butt like normal Zombicide, you just happen to be playing with the characters from the movie, right? That's what I kind of thought this would be. So maybe my expectations were off, maybe yours did not share with mine, and here is what you get. You get a Romero mode where you'll start out in most missions. Some missions you start out in Zombicide mode, but let's say in the first few, you'll start out in Romero mode where the black and white characters will be there, and you're on the black and white side, and they're going to be a little bit weaker, and you're going to have to turn into Zombicide mode. So how do you do that? Well, there's an issue of trust. If you've seen the movie, you have to trust each other and rely on each other. So there's a gun that's usually one of the starting equipment, that you have the Winchester, and as you pass that around, people will become Zombicide. Thematically, based on the source material, I feel like that works pretty well. What happens is, you know, you have all your characters come together, and you just kind of pass that thing around to everybody gets in Zombicide mode. Boom, you flip over a search card. There's a Karen, so anytime a relative comes out, you're going to switch back into Romero mode. Now I got to flip all the cards back over. I got to swap out the 6 miniatures. Okay, I roll 1 die. Wow, I beat that relative because I had an axe and I rolled a 4. Great. I got to flip all those cards back over, switch out the miniatures again. Okay, next character. Let's search. Oh, another Karen. Another relative comes out. Flip over all the cards, switch out all the miniatures. You know, it's not too bad if you're playing with 6 people, which I don't recommend. I usually play this game solo or 3 players who are playing 2 characters each. I think that works really well. Yeah, it's just a lot of flipping, guys. It's just a lot of flipping. In a solo mode, it's 6 characters each time. You're like, that's no big deal to flip 6 cards and to change out 6 miniatures. You might do it 15, 20 times in a game, perhaps. And it's just a lot. It is a lot after a while. And there's no way to track that. So whenever the relative is killed, everybody who was in zombie mode goes back to Zombicide mode. But there's no way to do it other than memory, which guy was in Zombicide mode. So you have to kind of remember that. There's no tracker for that. So the Romero mode is okay. It's cumbersome. It's fiddly. It's thematic, I guess. As you get trust each other, you get to be more powerful, and all of a sudden you just become, you know, lightning fast. Wasn't what I was expecting. It's fine. I like the idea behind it. I think it works with this mode. I don't know that I want it in the future. And by future, I mean, I don't think I want it in other editions. I think it's something unique to this one. So you have this kind of switching back and forth Romero and Zombicide mode in this version because of the thematic ties to the movie. I don't think it's something I want to see moving in all the time. Maybe a character here or there might have like a berserk mode where they can flip the card over and they're more powerful. I think that's really neat. I don't think I want to be doing as constantly as I'm doing in this. So in that regard, I feel like the Romero was a nice novelty. If it became something that was the norm, I don't think I would enjoy it as much. It's a little cumbersome, a little fiddly. It's a lot after you've been playing for a while to continually do this. Oh, another relative come out. I got to flip everybody over. Change out the miniatures. You know, at some point it's like, what are we doing here? And it became a lot. But as for gameplay, I think that it really works. I like how you're getting weaker. Oh, Johnny, I miss you. And that brings us to Johnny. Johnny's the one relative. There's 2 relatives, right? The kid and Johnny, and they come out constantly killing the same ones over again. This is where bloat is nice, because you're seeing different people come out. Maybe, why does Tom care that Johnny's there, other than he might like Barbara, who we met an hour ago? You know what I mean? Like, why is he affected by this? I think I would have liked a little bit more if it would, and maybe there's gameplay reasons why they didn't do this, of course, but, you know, if Tom had a relative that was attached to him, and when that relative came out randomly, then he was affected. Story-wise, I think that would have worked better. Maybe gameplay-wise, it wouldn't have, but it would fix that issue of, you know, constantly changing out all the miniatures and going through that. So Romero mode's been okay. As a novelty, I think it works. As a novelty, I'd probably give it a 7 or an 8. If it's a norm going forward, I'd probably put it as a 2 or a 3, right? I don't want to see this constantly. It's fine for these missions. It's fine for this. I think it works. and I don't want to see it forever. But I wouldn't mind seeing 1 or 2 characters have this ability in the future. I think it'd be really cool to have that in there. Berserker mode or whatever, or weakling mode or something, you know? That'd be really cool. So, it's okay. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but one that I enjoyed a little bit more at the beginning. The more I play with it, the less that I am enjoying it, just due to the fiddliness.